We have our block made, and our instructions tell us to single crochet all the way around the block. And this is going to put a nice chain edging so that when we go to basically sew these together, it's really easy to put all these blocks together instead of, trying to work with these wonky looking ends here. So the bottom and the top have real nice chain stitches here to pick up. Okay, so that's the bottom, and you can see the real nice chain stitches, but the edges, the side edges, have these crazy looking wonky stitches. So how on earth, when it says to crochet around the edge, like where on earth do you put your hook? Like where are you supposed to stick that hook at? And that can be a little confusing because I find that a lot of times, like in books and different informational sites, it doesn't really tell you where to put your hook. Like we know at the top that we're going to insert our hook right under the two top loops, but when it comes to the sides, where do we put our hook? Where do we put our hook at? Okay, so I'm going to show you. Okay, so I've got some yarn here. Now, when you make your chains, I want you to observe something. Okay, so I've just made a slip knot. When I make a chain, you will have a right leg and a left leg and a back bump. See that back bump right there of your stitch? Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm just going to make 5 chains, and I'm using purposely a bigger hook than what is needed for this particular size yarn so that you can see the chains more easily. Okay, so I've got 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to start a row of single crochet, so I'm going to make 1 extra chain. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark that chain, because when I crochet on the side of this project, that's actually where I am going to stick my hook into. So can you see my chain right there? I'm just going to put my marker, I'm just using a safety pin, and I'm just going to put my safety pin right into that chain right there. Okay. Okay, now I want to keep that real pretty chain edging of my project, so I'm going to crochet into the back loops, that bumpy part, and this makes it really easy to pick up your stitches around your project. So since this is single crochet, we're just going to single crochet across into the back bump. And when we get to the very last stitch, we're going to mark it, and I'll show you when we get there. Okay, so I'm at my very last stitch to crochet into. I'm going to go into that back bump. Now, I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, now normally to finish off your single crochet, you would yarn over and pull through both loops. But what you're going to do is you're just going to pull through one loop. And do you see how it made the chain? There's literally like a chain stitch. Here's the right leg and the left leg and the back bump right there where my thumb is. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a safety pin, and I am actually going to put that pin into the left leg of that stitch and the back bump right there. Okay, so I'm going to put it in there, and that's actually where I am going to pick up on the side edges. Okay, now I'm going to finish the stitch. So what my safety pin has done, it has grabbed the left leg of the stitch and the back bump. So I'm going to finish my stitch and pull it through. Okay. Now, next row, let's do a double crochet. Okay, so with double crochet, we are going to chain 3 for our turning chain. Okay. So on each one of those chains, see those chains? 1, 2, and 3. On each one of those chains, I'm going to grab a safety pin, and I'm going to put that pin through the left leg and the back bump. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark that. And I'm going to grab another pin and put it through that left leg and that back bump. Can you see that? There's the left leg right there, and there's my back bump. I'm just pinning those. Got the left leg there. Let me flip this here. And find my back bump. There it is. And just get that in my safety pin. Okay. Okay, so that's my 3 turning chains. Okay, turn our work. And as you know, those chain 3 actually counts as a stitch. So we're just going to double crochet all the way across, going into the second stitch. Whoops, I forgot. No, I didn't. I did yarn over. I thought I forgot to yarn over, but I didn't. Okay, bear with me as I work across here. Okay, we're on our last stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook in the 2 top loops. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now normally on a double crochet, you know how you would yarn over and pull through 2 loops? I'm just going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop, and now I'm going to mark that stitch right there. I'm going to mark that left leg and that back bump. So I'm just putting the pin through the left leg and find my back bump there. I'm having a hard time getting the yarn to separate. Okay, there we go. See, I've got it by the left leg and the back bump. Just close it in there. Now I'm going to finish that stitch by pulling it through that other loop. Okay, now we're going to yarn over, and instead of going through both two loops, we're just going to go through the one loop, and again we're going to mark that. Okay, so we're going to mark that outer leg, which is the left leg, in the back bump. And now we're going to finish that stitch by pulling it through the second loop on the hook. Okay, so here's your first row. This is, I'll flip this here. So here was my starting tail. And I made my 5 stitches across, which has a really nice chain edging because I crocheted into the back loops. That turning chain, that one turning chain for the single crochet, that is going to be where I pick up a side stitch. I went across with my single crochet. This was my very last stitch, and that's where I'm going to work into when I come on the side. Same with the double crochets. I'm just going to work into those. Okay, so let me show you. Whoops. So let me show you. Okay, when it says to now work into those stitches. All right. So first of all, we're turning our work. So we're like this. We're like this. Now we need to turn our work, and we're going to single crochet. So we're going to chain 1 to get the work up to the correct height. So you can see that I've marked my stitch right there with the left, it was the left leg and the back bump, and that gives me 2 threads to be able to stick my hook under so I get a good secure, latch on to the threads. Okay, so I'm going to take it out. You can take it out or leave it in. Okay, I'm just going to get my hook under that left leg and the back bump. Okay, do you see them? Left leg there, back bump. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through, and that's your single crochet on the edge. Okay, here's my next stitch. You can see the left leg and the back bump gives me two stitches. If you want to leave in your pins, you can. You can just kind of stick your hook under and work it through. That's the outer leg, the left leg. This one is the back bump, and just put it through. Then you can take out your pins. So you know if it's confusing for you, you can leave those pins in until you actually have your hook in, and then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And you've got a nice little chain stitch there. Okay, last stitch is where that single crochet row was, down here. And I'm just going to take out my safety pin. So I need to get under those 2 little threads right there. Okay, that's 1. I tend to use my fingernails a lot to do this, so I don't splice my yarn. It's a little tight. Just keep working with it. It will poke through. Oh, goodness. Okay, you see I'm under. Okay, so there was my loop on the hook. That's my left leg and my back bump. And just yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. Okay, so do you see the really nice pretty chain edge it made? just like the chain edge that you have at the top and the chain edge that you have at the bottom. It makes a real nice chain edge, and that's the whole point of working these working down the sides of these blocks for this blanket so that we can sew these together, and we're going to have all these even stitches to be able to pick up. Okay, so that's how you do it. And then you would just work across these stitches, and we're going to get more into that when I actually do a block. I'll go through each side so there's no confusion on what to do. But you would just continue and crochet along there, and then again pick up those stitches where those safety pins are at, and then come across the top, and you would have the whole thing all edged. Okay, so I hope that that helps. If you're having any confusion about how to pick up stitches on the side edges.